Welcome back again. It's still Silent Song and other stories, but this time round is not the silent song itself because we are done with that one. That was in our before previous videos. We've really done a silent song, and of course, we under silent song we didn't look at an essay prompt like question and maybe a model response, but we did look at the plot summary, that's in synopsis. We did look at the character analysis shortly there. We did look at the thematic concern, and that one really made hell of a sense because it was relevant to the text silent song itself. But for this one here, we're going to look at Ninema. Now, in our previous video, as I can remember, we looked at Ninema, an exam style question, of course, a sample model response, which really met our expectations, and that was a very nice class that we did had previously. If you haven't really watched it out, check it out by, of course, subscribing to the channel, and again, maybe sharing and liking it to other guys out there that you recommend this work too. But again, I would want, even in case you missed that particular video, you might as well as want to scroll through and get maybe you lined up with our content update uploads rather. But for this one here, we're going to be looking at Ninema by Vrenika Panther. That is from South Africa. Remember, it is still Liberty Media class, and they rebranded, revived, and replenished for the purpose of having this particular segment incorporated in our big media platform. And in case you're coming across this work, it is your first time, a friend of you has referred to this particular channel, or you bumped across it accidentally, how about that in the future you don't want again the same thing to happen, that you'll be the one now recommending maybe the other guys or the other friends of yours maybe to benefit from the same. I like a sharing, and of course a subscription. Of those three, they will do me good. A like or a comment down there would make me maybe motivated to keep on doing what exactly I'm doing. And a sharing means that you are a good ambassador of the particular channel, and that is after maybe you've benefited, because I know one good turn deserves the other. You wouldn't want really to just bolt out like that one. You would want to also recommend other guys out there to maybe get the best of this particular time that we're having around us. So without that much further ado, let's dive into it. What about Ninema by Vrenika Panther, that is South Africa, into our next slide. Interesting. Ninema, whichever way you want it. Ninema. Okay, good. By Vrenika Panther from South Africa. It's about the author of Vrenika Panther. Who is she? Vrenika Panther is mainly known for her acting prowess, since she started her career as an actress at the age of 18. The Indian lady of South Africa origin has also written a few short stories, one of them being Ninema. Her stories mainly tell the life that many Indian ladies live and their everyday encounters. Key aspects in interpretation of this particular Ninema itself is going to look at the tough life of a market vendor, the rising early, so you're going to be looking at the routinely life or the daily life of this person in question. Also going to look at the poor meals, poor or lack of proper grooming, dealing with different customers, castes and relationships, sexual harassment or immorality, need to remain principled, and of course focus. Those are the key punchlines or the key guidelines of this particular narrative or short story Ninema that we really need to go to play or maybe be focused even as you're going to read. So whenever these particular aspects come out, so those are the key moments that you're going to pay attention to. So let's get through it. Let's start with the characters. First of all, we have Ninema. She is one of the market gardeners who serves as the main character in the story. She's focused, ambitious, organized, and of course strong-willed. Her admirable trait is seen in how fond the other ladies are of her. A comprehensive and detailed guide to a silent song and other stories, and how many of our customers remain loyal. We have Mr. Chinran. He is a white man who is a loyal customer of Ninema. He admires Ninema, but Both know that their relationship is prohibited since they are from different castes, in other words, classes of life. While Mr. Chinran is a wealthy lawyer from a Brahmin caste, Ninema is a poor girl from a low caste. He supports Ninema's business by buying more than enough herbs from her. And to our third character there, we have got Mrs. Singh. Whichever way you want to pronounce that was, but to me it looks like Singh. She is a wealthy older woman who is a loyal customer again. She's known for haggling over prices, therefore being difficult and troublesome. She spends time negotiating with Ninema as a way of passing the time. The strange man is the man who accosts Ninema on her way from the market. He is immoral, vulgar, and of course, lascivious. Lascivious. Yeah. Now I know you're judging me and you're criticizing me over the same. So that is lascivious, rather. But let's look at the synopsis. Okay, maybe you're asking what is lascivious. Now she's lustful, rather, from that context there. Lasting, not long lasting, but lasting with Lusting, lasting for, that particular ability, not ability, but it has tendency maybe to admire lustfully with an evil thought at the back, harbored at the back of that particular admiration, and especially from men to women. So in this case, we have this particular strange man who portrays that particular lascivious, desires towards Ninema. Let's look at briefly the synopsis of this particular text. Now, Vrenika Pother's story, Ninema, is about the harsh life of a market gardeners rather, in plural, as represented by Ninema, and of course the other ladies. The story explores the hassles that Ninema goes through on a typical market day, starting from rising at the wee hours of the morning to closure time, which is late in the evening. Her home life is simple, suggesting the poor living conditions of such vendors. She has to prepare before going to the Indian market, where she makes her sales. She only washes her face and feet with cold water from an outside tap since she cannot afford running hot water. This affects her grooming as she takes a bath once a week. She puts on her chambal, symbolizing the poor conditions and the only source of protection for her feet while on the way to and from the market. Ninema remains focused and does not let her beauty and attention for both men and women control her. Once in the market, Ninema organizes her herbs appetizingly to attract customers. The market conditions is challenging as the weather is not favorable. It is hot and Ninema sweats until her sari clings to her firm skin. She handles different customers who buy her herbs with wisdom and respect. Her focus is in business enables her not to get carried away by Mr. Chinran's attractions towards her. She does not encourage his infatuation with her but treats him like any other customers with respect and appreciation. She firmly handles the troublesome and difficult Mr. Singh. Many customers who visit her store are served well and are satisfied as she takes a personal interest in them. Her doctor, Dr. Sidat, visits too, and she takes time talking to him about her mother's ailment. Having served her last customer, Ninema closes her stall after taking stock of the unsold herbs and her profit for the day. The rot in society is seen when a strange man sexually assaults Ninema on her way home. He pinches her erect nipples and laughs loudly before extending some invitation for Ninema to follow him. Ninema does not take this abuse lying down. She utilizes the only weapon that she has, her jumble, that protects the soles of her feet and her whole self. She hits the man repeatedly with her sandals as the other women cheer her on. The man is too shocked to react and therefore ends up being beaten by Ninema until he whimpers. Feeling satisfied, Ninema continues with her journey home. She goes back to the poor condition that she left in the morning. She safely keeps her sandals under the kitchen table before washing her face and feet with cold water, just like she had done in the morning. She takes a rest that leads to her to dream of a better tomorrow. The story ends with hopeful, optimistic Ninema, who dreams of having a home for herself, hot water and a kitchen inside a house. Oh, good students, that was the synopsis of that particular point there, and it ended up so abruptly. So interesting. But stay tuned, because in our future uploads we're going to be looking at some of the thematic concerns that are maybe popping out in this particular story, and of course an exam style question, an essay kind of narrative. But of course that one previously we did upload in our previous videos there, but of course another version of the same, because maybe from a different perspective. And then of course with accompanied with its model response that maybe fits the examiner's expectations, even as your endeavor in this particular new work is concerned. And again, I just want to remind you with that reminder that support this work by subscribing, sharing with good friends out there, and of course a comment. Drop me a comment down there to maybe make me feel good, and of course a motivation, like literally to make me keep on doing what exactly I'm doing. And above all, I want to wish you the very best in your endeavors, even as you're embarking in this particular new journey of uncharted waters. Stay tuned.